What's up guys, it's Travis. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to prevent burning down your house with some home maintenance tips you probably forgot about. I've compiled a list of some of the most easily forgotten home maintenance tasks that will keep your home efficient and safe. And frankly, this video is a great excuse for me to get them done as well. First, let's start down here in the basement by checking any exposed plumbing for leaks. You can also check any ceiling tiles or drywall for water damage. If you find anything, get it fixed right away to prevent water damage or mold. If you're not comfortable doing this yourself, hire a plumber. The next thing we're going to do is walk around and open and close any water valves that we might see. When you open and close these valves, you keep them freed up to ensure you'll be able to use the valve when you really need it. Like when you have a major leak and you need to turn the water off quickly. Over time, your hot water heater can develop sediment in the bottom, which can lead to the bottom corroding out, or it can clog your pressure relief valve. Flushing out your hot water heater is actually not super straightforward, and I'm not going to cover it in detail in this video, but I did find some nice instructions, and I put it in the link down below. To keep your air handler working as efficiently as possible, it's always a good idea to change out the filter every 6 months. I keep my air handler running constantly to help filter out the air in my home, so my filter can get pretty nasty. Changing the filter is super easy. Turn off the power to the furnace, open the door, and swap out the filter. It's also a good idea to vacuum out this area while you're in here. Don't forget to write the date it was replaced and turn the furnace back on. The thought of any water down here in my finished basement gives me nightmares, which is why I test my sump pump regularly. You can test your sump pump by bypassing the float switch like this, or you can just add water to it until it kicks on. My system is sealed from my radon reduction system, so I'm not going to take the lid off. If you do either of these tests and you don't hear the pump kick on, replace it or risk your basement getting flooded during your next storm. If your home has a ventilator like this one, it also has filters inside that need to be cleaned. To clean them, just open up the door and remove the filters, and then clean them with warm soapy water and let dry. If you have a basement, it's probably pretty humid, so you should have a dehumidifier. Mine runs constantly. If you have one, it probably has a filter that should be cleaned out every now and then. Mine drains directly into this drain, but if yours has a water tank, that should be emptied out as well. Okay, we're back upstairs now, and the first thing we need to do up here is maintain our carbon monoxide and smoke detectors. I say maintain because in addition to changing out your batteries once a year, you should also blow out any dust out of them, and then test to make sure they are working properly. If they aren't, replace them. GFCI circuits and outlets are designed to trip so you don't get electrocuted if somebody decides to throw you the toaster in the bathtub. To test them, I use a GFCI tester like this one. I put a link to it down below. To use it, just put it in the outlet and press the button. If the GFCI is working, it should trip. Now either reset it or replace it if it didn't trip. Refrigerators nowadays are crazy expensive, so be sure to take care of yours. About once a year or so, depending on how dusty your house is, you should clean the condenser coils. Some refrigerators have them in the front under a grill, and some will have them on the back. Mine is in the back, and I have to pull mine out to get to it. I have kids and cats, so I always find surprises back there. I like to take it one step further by dusting off the top of the fridge. If your refrigerator dispenses water, also check to see if your filter needs to be changed. A lot of people don't even know this, but your dishwasher actually has a filter in it. This filter is designed to catch food particles so your plumbing doesn't get clogged. They're usually located on the bottom and can be easily removed and cleaned off. Every kitchen should have some sort of an exhaust fan above your stove. That exhaust fan probably has a filter that will need to be removed and cleaned. Mine can just be removed and cleaned with warm soapy water. Next, let's check our fridges and freezers for any frost or ice buildup. When the ice and frost builds up, your appliance doesn't run as efficiently and can even take up more room. To defrost, just unplug the appliance and then put a large towel under it to absorb the water. Dryer lint is extremely flammable, and if it clogs up your dryer's ventilation system, your clothes may not dry as well. Clean the lint trap with every load. A few times a year, inspect below the lint trap to make sure it's not clogged. Vacuum out this area with a thin vacuum attachment, or you can use a kit designed for this. Don't use something to blow this area out because it could push the lint deeper into the machine or the tube going to the outside of the house. If you suspect lint may be building up in the tube going to the outside of the house, they also make products to clean that out. I put a link in the video description. If you're not comfortable cleaning the tube to the outside yourself, call a professional. Front-load washing machines are fantastic, but they do have some issues with mold, which can cause your clothes to smell. To address this, first take out the soap drawer and clean it and the area it goes into thoroughly. Next, locate the drain pump clean out. Drain out the water and then pull out the filter and clean it. Bath vents and return ducts can get extremely dusty. This can lead to reduced efficiency and even a risk of fire. I like to clean them off with my vacuum with a brush attachment. If you have a leak under your sink, you could have major water damage or mold. To avoid this, periodically inspect the area under your sink for leaks or signs of leakage and get it fixed ASAP. Computer fans run a lot and can suck up all kinds of dust. This dust could make the computer overheat or make the fans work harder. Use a vacuum to clean all the dust off the air intakes. Be cautious of compressed air because it can easily blow the dust further into your computer. Okay, moving on to the outside of your house. The first thing you're going to want to check are that your downspouts and your gutters are clean. I don't have very many tall trees here, so I don't really have an issue with this. If your gutters get clogged, they won't be able to take water properly away from your home, and it could cause a flood. If your downspouts or gutters need to be cleaned out, there's lots of products available to help you with this. I put a link to some in the video description. Carefully inspect all the caulking around your house. If you see anything that's cracked or missing, apply fresh silicone caulking. Check all of your vents and intakes for debris that might reduce airflow. Clogged vents can reduce efficiency or cause a fire. In the winter, be sure snow doesn't cover up the vents and intakes. Some windows and doors will have a small weep hole like this. You can use a pipe cleaner or a paper clip to clean these out. You can test to make sure the frame is draining with a cup of water. If your AC condenser coils are dirty, your AC unit is not performing as well as it could. To clean your AC condenser, shut off the power to the condenser and then remove the top cover. Remove any debris you see in the bottom of the unit. Then spray the coils with a hose from the inside until the coils are clean. My condenser was pretty clean, but if yours is dirtier, you might want to spray the inside of the coils with AC coil cleaner, and I put a link to that product below. If you have an egress window in your basement, you probably have a drain that leads down to the drain tile. Check to make sure nothing is clogging your drain, or your window well could fill with water, and the water could leak into your house through the window. You never want to lock yourself out of your house. I know, because I've done it before. It's never a bad idea to change the batteries in any device that might help you get back into your house, like a keypad controlling the garage door openers or deadbolts. Finally, we are back out in the garage, and the first thing we're going to talk about is your air compressor. If you have an air compressor, it will accumulate water in the bottom over time. You need to turn off the air compressor and drain it, or it is possible that the bottom of your tank could rust out. If you have an air filtration system in your garage, the filter probably looks pretty gross like this one. Every now and then it's a great idea to take the filters out and clean them to improve the efficiency of your air filtration system and reduce the risk of fire. And while we're out here, let's do a little bit of maintenance on our garage doors. Lubricating the spring will help it last longer by slowing down corrosion, and lubricating the pulleys will help keep your door's friction down and operating quietly. And if you do have any sort of dust collection system, be sure to periodically empty out all the dust and clean or replace the filters. Again, this is all about increasing efficiency and reducing the risk of fire. Well, thanks for watching my entire video, guys. I really appreciate that. Hopefully I prevented a couple of house fires and maybe saved some people some money. If you like your house not on fire, then please hit like and subscribe and watch one of these other awesome videos up here. We'll see you guys.